Well, my friends, you join me once again in the hospital. I am in the hospital, but my father is actually in the hospital. I'm fine, he is not. As you may remember from about a month ago, if you happen to have been on my channel a month ago, we were actually in this exact same location, on this exact same floor, in the exact same hallway. We have been battling health issues since December when my dad fell and broke his ribs. And we've been dealing with some pulmonary stuff, some breathing stuff, lung stuff since then. So it's been a really, really tough couple of months. We've been really dealing with this since June. And the last couple of days have been really, really tough. It's been a difficult time. And especially, when you're trying to grow a new channel or any kind of business that you're trying to grow, whenever you get an additional challenge that you haven't planned for, you really never know how that's going to affect your production and what you're going to be able to do. And I think everybody really can understand that. Everybody's been through this. Anybody who's had a parent that's gotten sick or even a child that's gotten sick, the best laid plans, as the saying goes, all that really goes out the window when it's something like this where you're having a life-threatening health issue. I don't know what this means to me as far as timing on production of things go. And I want to be really honest with you guys so you guys understand, especially those of you who are new to the channel. If you came over from Junkyard Digs, by the way, welcome. It's wonderful to have the Junkyard Digs family over here. Kevin, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to buy the Pinto. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I want to be really honest with you guys so you understand what's going on. This is a channel that it's not just going to be necessarily about what I'm doing with my cars. It's why I'm doing them, what I'm getting to experience with them. It's going to be builds. It's me talking about things that I think that are important in the automotive world. Maybe making some people angry about things as far as my views on things when it comes to automotive stuff. So this channel is a little bit of a wider ranging one than what most people will probably see, and it is shot very guerrilla style. I'm going to shoot this on a phone or on a camera, and it's going to have very, very little editing. It's going to be very in your face and exactly how things are going. It's not going to be a highly produced thing. That's not what this channel is really all about. I want to be able to share the adventures with you guys, and that also means not necessarily sharing all of the great adventures. Adventures are good or bad, that's just how they are. And today and yesterday and the day before have been tough. They're really tough. I spent a very minimal amount of time in the shop. Thankfully, we're at a point where in the business, I'm okay. We're all right. We've got enough business in the shop for me to not necessarily be there as much as I really would like to be. But it's also really limited my ability to do project car stuff, work on my own stuff. For those of you who are keeping track and who are paying attention, I now have a number of projects that I'm working on. This channel was originally launched with my 1968 Le Mans, and that's going to be something that I'm definitely going to continue to work on. The next thing I need to do is work on the heads to be able to do some head porting. Unfortunately, that's very time intensive, so I'm going to probably have 8 hours or so in hand porting those heads and getting them all flowing as well as I need them to. And then that's going to go on the Pontiac 350 HO project. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Pontiac 350 HO, it was actually a thing. And I'm kind of trying to build one to go in my 1968 Pontiac. Unfortunately, everything else with that car turned out to be bad. So that has kind of sidelined that project a little bit. I'm not giving up on it. It's not something I'm going to kick down the can down the road. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I want you to understand that the next thing that I need to get done with that car is going to require a ton of time from me. I have to get those heads done, and I have to be the one that does it. Unless I can convince my wonderful woman, Katrina, to learn how to do head porting and to donate to me 8 or 10 hours of sitting there with a grinder grinding out some cast iron heads. So that's where that project is. With the rear end, what we discovered the last time we had it up in the rack, the rear end being completely toast, it's time to have a conversation about putting a brand new rear end in it. Putting a new rear end in it is probably the most intelligent thing, because It was a Pontiac 12 or Pontiac 10 bolt, excuse me. I could put a 12 bolt from something. The problem is I'm not going to know that it's good. I'm probably going to want to do things to it. I'm probably going to end up changing the gears. I'm going to end up rebuilding it. And the amount of time and energy and everything that you're going to have involved in putting a 12 bolt in it, that's maybe good. I could just go a little bit more and get a whole brand new rear end, which is expensive. You know, you're talking $2,000, $3,000 to get a brand new rear end, brand new axles, brand new limited slip, brand new brakes or more. And I don't physically have that kind of change right now to throw at that project. So now part of that is my own problem because I have purchased other things and I've spent money on other things. So I don't necessarily have the funds to spend on that Pontiac project right now. But that's where that project sits. The PT Cruiser project, that was my, I'm trying to find something off Facebook and nobody will sell me one. I did finally end up buying one. I do have the clutch for it. It is at the shop. But again, it's a very time intensive next step. I need to put a clutch in that car in order to verify the engine and transmission are good before I take the car apart and start mating it up to the GLHS Charger that we have sitting in the garage. I don't want to go through this whole process and not know the integrity of that motor and that transmission. So I want to get that thing running and driving and turning and stopping and working correctly before I go through that process. Unfortunately, the time involved in putting a clutch in a PT Cruiser is not something I, again, have right now. So that's where I'm kind of stuck on that project. The next thing is this Pinto. The Pinto was not something that I honestly intended to buy. That was not on my game plan. That was something that kind of just happened. Kevin and I have known each other for a couple of years now. We met on Power Tour a number of years ago. And we both share very similar purchasing ideas, I guess. Very nice guy, wonderful dude. I love Kevin. He's a great dude. All of you, by the way, who have helped grow the channel, I 100% welcome you aboard. I'm very glad to see you here, and I really appreciate it. And I hope you hang around for a lot longer, and you're interested in all the projects that I work on. It's a totally different format than what you see with Junkyard Digs, but hopefully it's entertaining and it's maybe a little bit educational. And I will take you along on all of that stuff. So that whole situation came about because when we were on Power Tour this past year, in June, we ended up with a bunch of folks from Power Tour at the shop at Luke Hoare Automotive that night when Power Tour came through Columbus to do some repairs. There was a number of cars that ended up at the shop. And while we were there, Kevin just mentioned, hey, by the way, you should buy another race car from me. Many of you may not know, but we purchased his Capri race car a number of years ago that he had found, and I think I mentioned that in the past video. But it has been a dickens of a time trying to get that car fixed and back on the road for a number of reasons. One, because it needs an entire new front end from glass forward. It's a 1972-73 Ford Capri, which is not easy to find a nose for. But it's going to require either an entire new nose or an entire new chassis, one of the two. It also needs an engine. It needs a bunch of other stuff. So we have an engine build that's been moving forward. It's just not done yet. The front end grafting situation, I think we finally probably have a plan for that, but it's been a long time coming. So this option came available to me from Kevin. He offered me the vehicle at a good price. It's got a great background. The Treadwear guys were the ones that built it. Originally, it was a roundy round car, and we'll get into more of that when I get a chance to film from the shop. But it was an opportunity that I kind of needed to jump on because it gives me the ability to immediately go out and have some fun. I'm going to be able to track that car without putting a ton of time and money and energy into it, I think, here in the next couple of weeks, which is exactly what I'm looking to do. I want to be able to go out and have some fun and do some events and that kind of thing and be able to share that stuff with you guys. And the nice thing is with this kind of racing, with road racing and endurance racing, it's something I can share with friends as well. So I can share seat time with them, share wrenching time with them. We could go out to the track together and have a good weekend. And that's something that's really important to me. I'm trying to get a community built and a friend group going that's into this kind of stuff. I don't want to get too sappy into this, but one of the things that was always really enjoyable for me when I was younger was the fact that I could share these moments and experiences with friends of mine. And that gets harder as you get older. You don't have as many free weekends or evenings. You've got kids and wives and family obligations, and your health isn't as good as it used to be. Financially is maybe not the greatest time to be spending a bunch of money on going race carring. And I think in my mind, the idea of being able to have a race car ready to rock and roll, and all I really need to do is some basic maintenance and then have my friends show up and we can go racing is really, really appealing to me. So I think that's really the main reason I wanted to buy it. It's not that I needed to buy the car. I really honestly didn't need to buy the car. My plate is plenty full, but that's the reason I bought it. And it maybe, it's not going to drastically change the amount of time I have available to do stuff right now because I don't have the time, but it needs very little work to be able to be on track and I can go have some fun. And it's August at this point in time, so racing season in Ohio is starting to kind of draw to a close, at least on the road racing side of things. So that's the reason that car happened. I just want to let you guys know, as far as for those of you who are new here, or who are curious about what's going on with the channel or what's going on with the purchases and the vehicles that I've bought, or that I've already owned. I am going to be putting up a couple of vehicles of my own that I am just flat out not going to be able to get time to work on. I just don't have time. That I will be listing up and getting sold so I can free up some more capital to be able to do some more of this stuff, and just honestly kick them down the road so that somebody else can enjoy them, because right now they're just sitting around rotting and that's not cool. So I will be listing up some stuff here very shortly. So I don't know, to cycle back to how this whole thing started, I don't know what the plans are. I don't know what the timing looks like for any of this. My dad's health is incredibly important to me. I'm an only child. I'm the only one that's able to do this kind of thing. So I have to be here for my father, and I'm sure all of you understand that. I have to do everything I possibly can for him, to be able to get him back to a happy place, to be able to get back to a quality of life that he deserves and that he wants. And I'm going to do every damn thing I can to be able to get there, which does mean that I spend a lot of time here. So it's going to be tough for me to find wrenching time, but I'm going to do my damnedest to be able to do it. I'm going to try to clip those low-hanging fruit as best I can to be able to keep things entertaining and keep moving forward in projects. And I will do my best, and I will share all that along the way with you guys. So that's it. That's my spiel. That's my night. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. I know a bunch of you guys are going to be giving me prayers in the comment section, and I truly do appreciate it. Every single one of you guys have been amazing, other than the one person that I blocked because he's just a negative person. I truly do appreciate you guys. This has been a really, really cool experience for me. It's very humbling to see that there are almost 4,000 people now that are interested in what it is I do in my life and want to come along with me on these journeys. So thank you very much for being here. I truly do appreciate it. Your time spent watching these videos, your clicks on these things, quite literally directly impact my ability to do this. When I have people that watch what I'm doing, it enables me to make some income off of this to be able to do some of this stuff. Now, it's not really paying for any of the things that I'm doing at the moment, but eventually it might, and that's the whole goal. At this point in time, I'm on that phase of being a small business owner where you're just doing everything you possibly can, spending everything you possibly can, time and money, to be able to get that small business off the ground with the hopes to be able to possibly see that return in the future. I will also be putting up a video here in the next couple of days about the actual analytics and the revenue earnings off of YouTube, so you guys can see kind of an under the hood process as far as what's going on here, and how much I do truly actually make off of this, and you can kind of extrapolate that out as you will. I'll be very honest with you guys on how that whole thing works. At the moment, it's not pretty. I'm very in the red, and we'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update as far as what's going on with me, where I am, what's going on with the projects that I've got, and what the plans are for the future. So thanks for being here, guys. Have a great rest of your night. Love y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.